my faithful lawyer YouTube subscribers. Today it is Monday. It is December the 3rd, I believe. Yep, December 3rd, the year is 2018. And if you watch the news here in Atlanta, there was a story a few weeks ago where a 14-year-old pregnant girl was shot and killed the day before Thanksgiving here in Atlanta. She was babysitting her sister's kids, her nieces and nephews, when a bullet was fired in the apartment above her, shooting her in the head and killing her and her child. She was 14 years of age. She was pregnant. She had just met her father for the first time just a few days before she was murdered. They have since arrested a young man who fired the gun in the apartment above her, and he was arrested and charged with her murder. Here's an interesting part to the story. As the father was talking, we got a background of this young 14-year-old girl. She was not in school. She was pregnant. She had lived a life where her mother, who had multiple children by multiple men, never really had a home for her children. So these children that the mother had, her mother, never had a place to stay. And they lived with relatives and family members and friends and foster care and all kinds of stuff. And then this young lady was going down the same path at 40. She literally was walking down the same path as her mother. She's 14 years of age and pregnant. And her father, who had been trying to get in touch with her for years, was finally able to track her down, and he met his daughter just a few days before she was shot and killed the day before Thanksgiving. Y'all, welcome to Niggerville, y'all. I feel sorry for a lot of these young children out there today because their lives are in chaos and confusion as a direct result of their parents. This mother didn't want her, this young lady's mother chose a path that put her children in harm's way. None of the children ever lived in the same household with her. She had multiple children by multiple men, and they lived all over the place. These children didn't grow up in a safe environment. And then here she was, 14 years of age, pregnant, watching her sister's kids, and her sister was no more than, if I'm correct, if I read that right, I'll give you all the link, but I don't think her sister was quite over 20 years of age, one of her sisters. They were living in an apartment with no furniture, sitting on the floor. The more I read that child's story, it broke my heart. See, I don't have any children. I never wanted any. I looked at the situation with my sisters and their children, and I said, I don't want that path. My sisters had children at an early age, and my mother would sit back and say, Jesus is going to take care of them. Everything's going to be all right. But as you all know, Jesus never showed up to do a goddamn thing. Religion, poverty, lack of education, lack of birth control, it's destroying our communities. It's creating so much chaos and confusion in our communities that it's frightening, it's scary. You have to wonder, how did we get here? Welcome to Niggerville, y'all. Black women have been having children since slavery at a very early age. That's how most black women, since slavery, literally, they've been used to breed children. And it doesn't seem like nothing has changed. Black women will drop these children out without a home, a place to live, a couch to sit on, not even $5 in their purse. And I keep hearing people complaining about the high rate of abortion in the black community. And I'm thinking, okay, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been through black communities all over the United States. I see hundreds and thousands of children. I don't buy that bullshit about abortions hurting and harming the black community. That's some nonsense being spread by That's some false nonsense being spread by religious people. They want to shut down Planned Parenthood. I've read article after article by black people putting this out in the universe. That was an Oprah statement, I'm sorry. Forgive me for that comment. I've seen black people putting out article after article about shutting down Planned Parenthood because of the abortion rate in the black community. But Planned Parenthood offers something like, they offer birth control pills. They offer prenatal care. They offer HIV testing. They offer all kinds of services. Some people need to have abortions, whether we like it or not. It's not for us to make that decision. Some of these women don't need these children because they don't have any business bringing these kids into the world that don't nobody want. They got a foster care system here in Georgia filled with black children, and I can assure you, nobody's adopting these children, even little babies. They only want the white babies. They don't want the black ones. So when a child enters into the foster care system here in Georgia, and I have friends who work for the Department of Human Resources, Department of Children, Family, and whatever it's called here in the Department of DFACS, and they tell me some horrific stories about these young babies and children who never leave the system. They can't find foster care for these kids. They bounce from household to household. Once they enter into foster care as a child, they never get adopted. Very rare black folks. When was the last time y'all saw some black folks run out and adopt some children? I'll wait. When was the last time you saw some black people in the United States adopt children? My aunt had foster children when we were younger. She took care of these foster children. She took care of children who had special needs. But as for black children being adopted here nationwide, very rare. Some white families will adopt them. Some gay folks will adopt them. The black folks, like I said, they know to adopt. They got 10 of them on their own. They trying to figure out who's going to adopt their damn children. We got 10 of them over here. Can we get them adopted someplace? It's sad. I'm going to post a link to that story for that 14-year-old girl who was killed. And I read that story. It was heartbreaking. This girl never had a home. To grow up in a room, literally she had a plastic bag that she carried and toted her clothes around in because she didn't have a place to live. She didn't have a place to live. She didn't have a closet to hang her clothes in. And she was about to go down the exact same path as her ignorant mother. And oh my God, that mother was ignorant. I saw her on the news talking. I read it was just sad. That mother, she doesn't see anything wrong with her having had all those kids and not raising one of them herself. And having those children put into foster care with relatives, family members, friends, just all over the place. But yeah, I'm going to post a link to the story. There's something wrong in our communities when so many young black kids have children and they cannot afford them. And they do the same thing that their parents did. It's like it's a cycle that just runs over and over and over. I don't want to hear shit about people saying negative stuff about Planned Parenthood because we need Planned Parenthood. And I'm going to pause this for 1 second. Vanny is awake. Let me take her out real quick. And I'm back. As soon as I saw her walking, she's ready to go to the bathroom. Open that door. She's out there using the bathroom now. Woo. She was up there asleep. You know, she's sleeping late. She's an old lady. Yeah, but I think it's horrible. The cycle of despair and poverty. It's just, and I'm seeing it in my family. I'm looking at it in my family. I'm looking at my nieces and nephews, and they're going down the exact same paths that their mama and daddy went through. And now they're doing it with their children that they should not have had at such an early age. And then, of course, my mother sitting over there reading the Bible, seeing that Jesus, everything gonna be all right. I just sit back in shock. Sit back in shock, unbelieving. It's like, okay, this is unbelievable. Very shocking. But again, I don't have any children. I never wanted any children. I don't want to have to go through the problems I'm seeing my sisters, nieces, and nephews going through. Raising children are expensive. Child care, clothing, diapers, food, housing. It's all outrageous. You have children, you can afford to have children. Black folks will have a child with nothing to... I've never understood this. You have nothing to offer this child. You barely got a place to live yourself. Technically, you are homeless, but you're running out having children. That 14-year-old girl was technically homeless, but here she was pregnant. Do black folks really not understand about condoms and birth control? I just don't get it. We don't want to practice safe sex and protect ourselves from children or STDs. It's like we don't care. She was bringing that 14-year-old girl was bringing a child in there. She was 8 months pregnant. Now, when she was shot and killed, I thought that was kind of odd why they were not able to save the child. I don't understand the circumstance of that because she was 8 months pregnant. You would think that they would have been able to save the child, but the child was not able to. They've charged the man who fired the young teenager who fired the gun. They've charged him with murder and feticide or something like that for killing her and the baby. There was another article here in Georgia of a 14-year-old kid. They just gave him 10 years in prison. He was 14 years. This was just something I'll post a link to that too. I thought it was very interesting. His ignorant ass mom was up there. They let him down. The state let him down. The state is, oh my, they didn't that. They didn't. Bitch, shut your fucking mouth, you ignorant heifer. You let him down. The state didn't have this child. You did. He was 14 years of age, sentenced to 10 years in prison because of the heinous crimes he committed as a 14-year-old kid. Now, I'm sitting there in shock watching this on the news. A 14-year-old kid, 10 years in prison, which is a long time. He'll be 24 years of age before he gets out of there, assuming he lives through 10 years in prison. I kept trying to figure out what he could have done. It was a long news article. Long report, I didn't get a chance to really see, but I did see he did some violent crimes. But you would think a 14-year-old kid, he should be treated as a minor. He's only 14. But they didn't. They treated him as an adult, and they gave him 10 years in prison. He will stay in juvenile custody until he's 17 or 18 years of age, and he will be transferred to an adult prison. Georgia don't play. Now, all I can remember seeing is his ignorant mother on the news with tattoos and piercings and just ignorant. I can't even understand a word she was saying, but she was the mother of that child. And she said the state had let him down, that she couldn't get any help or anything for him. And I can imagine she had that child with same scenario. She probably had that child at a very young age. Children, she probably had multiple children at a very young age without anything to offer these children. Nothing. And we wonder why these situations are so bad in the black community. That's why. We have not understood the importance of when and how to bring a child into the world. Some of us don't need children. I'm one of those people. I don't need any. People telling us, don't you want to pass on your heritage? I'm thinking, nigga, give me a fucking break. We got enough nappy-head niggas in the Hamptons running around here in the damn way. We'll let them pass on heritage. It's sad to me. When I go around my nieces and nephews, my heart is broken. And I can't financially afford to take care of every problem and need they have. It's just crazy. They're not my children. I never wanted any children for that reason. Because I knew growing up in Gary, Indiana, and bouncing all over Michigan and Cincinnati and then Georgia, I realized black folks are crazy. I don't want to bring children into this environment. And I didn't. And I'm not going to. If you like my videos, click like. I'm gonna post the links to the articles to these incidents. The 14-year-old pregnant girl was shot and killed, and the 14-year-old kid who was just sentenced to 10 years in state prison. 10 years for violent crimes. And in Georgia, they have a law on certain crimes, violent crimes. Now, I don't think he murdered anybody. I don't think murder was one of the crimes. Because it couldn't have been murder, but it was definitely some type of assault, something to do with a gun or something along that line. So I'm not sure what he did, but certain violent crimes you have to do 90%. If it's aggravated assault or something, I don't know if he shot somebody. I don't know. They didn't really go into the details of it, but there was a list of crimes that he did do that he was charged with. But it's unusual for a 14-year-old kid to get 10 years in prison. Even the news reporter said he had never heard of that in the 10 or 15 years he had been reporting crimes here in Georgia. He had never heard of a young man getting that much prison time at 14 years of age, which is very young. 10 years in prison, that's a long time. Any old way, maybe he'd be safer there. Sometimes I feel some of these guys, these kids are better off in prison than on the streets with their crazy parents. Now you can finally have a place to food, housing, clothing, a shower. I mean, I'm just serious. Because I can imagine out here on these streets, he wasn't getting any of that. These women bring these children into the world without any regard. They don't even have proper housing. They never take their children to go see a dentist. They don't have proper health care. They don't have nothing. Bunch of poverty-stricken Negroes. And it's sad. But we ignore this. Like my mother, she's screaming, Jesus! Jesus! She's over there singing to Jesus while the whole world crashed around her. And she's been doing this for 70-something odd years. She ain't woke up yet. That's a whole nother video about her religious ass. If you like my videos, click like, share them with family members and friends. I look forward to reading you all's comments. Today it is Monday, December 3rd, the year is 2018. I'm out here to do something productive with your life. Like go to Planned Parenthood and get on birth control if you know you can't afford to have no goddamn children. Find you some condoms at Walmart. You can get them for free. You can get condoms for free all up and down Peachtree Street at every damn STD clinic. You just walk in and say, can I get some free condoms? They give you a big old bag of them. Here. Free. And if you go to Planned Parenthood, you can get free birth control. We need to stop attacking people having an abortion. If they need an abortion, then let them have one. We don't know the circumstances of their situation. We sure shouldn't be knocking somebody because they don't want to bring a child into this world that nobody wants. Nobody. Not even the mother having a child. But you all insist that they bring this child into the world that nobody wants. Anyway, I'm out of here and enjoy your day.